They never want you to discover that you are gods and goddesses. All right, so anyone, I don't care if it's the feminists, I don't care if it's some weak men's organization or anything like that, it is all the same. All right, it's all, they have an end goal, and that goal is to put you in slavery. And the only way you can defeat a god is to convince him that he's not a god. We have to go back to the basics. We first need to understand the purpose of a man, the purpose of a woman, the purpose of the family. This is the foundation of the human race. You are absolutely correct. Jamal Baylor. But they don't want that. They, you know, it really is interesting. That's what men were saying. They said, why do these women think they don't need men? Men built the world. Well, you built it. We don't need you anymore. What if men decided we don't need you anymore? What would you do? You don't hold the power positions. You're not physically stronger. It's sometimes these narratives, I'm just kind of curious, and I think men are too afraid to say it. It's like, okay, well, what if all the men on the planet just decide, you know what, we're going to shut all this shit down. Fuck our leaders, fuck everybody. All this motherfucking feminist shit that you're talking, we're going to shut all of it down. What are you going to do? You wouldn't be able to do nothing. The man that was released before a military person. All the world is a stage. He's not a human trafficker. He's just a cheap webcam pimp. This is Chucky Tronic. He's just a weak webcam pimp. You know, I wouldn't say that he's a weak webcam pimp. You know, he's a 4-time kickboxing champion. I won't disagree with the webcam pimp. I think he did have a thing about pimping, but the thing about it is you're only able to pimp when you got women who want to be pimped. I think, man, pimp will tell you that, you know. Let's say, let's go on. It says, why the video a little fuzzy? No better quality? No, there's something wrong with yours. Let's go. All I have is small dick energy. Greta, you should watch Eyes Wide Shut if you haven't. Yes, you should watch the movie Eyes Wide Shut. That's a very important movie to watch too, Eyes Wide Shut. Now, what you really need to do is watch on my, you need to watch this, y'all, because they talk about sex trafficking. Let me show you the real sex traffickers. All right, because we're going to get back into some discussions about adrenochrome. We need to get into some discussions about reptilians. We need to start having those discussions. I've avoided those discussions, but we need to get back into those. Those are the discussions they don't want y'all to have. They took down all of the shapeshifters off of the internet, all the news reporters who were shapeshifting off of the internet. They were catching these people and shapeshifting, all right? And then all of a sudden, right before the pandemic, at its height, when you had the Q narrative going on, when they were talking about adrenochrome, when we talk about Jeffrey Epstein, Epstein Island and everything, they talk, now you don't hear nothing about that. But all of a sudden, now you got this man, and they pulling him in, he's a sex trafficker. All of your public officials who were involved in all that sex trafficking operation, now you don't hear anything about that anymore. But all of a sudden, this wealthy man who's going around in the world trying to teach men to be more masculine, now, oh, he's a sex trafficker, or he's a weak video webcam pimp. Let's look at this real quick. This is my bitch shoot. They're not gonna let you have these on here. You need to go through every one of these videos. You need to study Arizona Wilder. Arizona Wilder, she discusses these reptilians with David Icke. It's a very good, it's definitely a necessary video for you to watch so you can get some insight on that. I would even watch this alien interview. This is a very good interview where he discusses some things. Very, very interesting. This Al Bielek, I don't know if you've ever saw the movie The Philadelphia Experiment. You should watch it, but you should read the book about it as well. This is about time travel. Yes, they back then, they were like 80% successful with time travel. They had Tesla. They had T. Townsend Brown. They had Albert Einstein. They had all the biggest brains on planet Earth working on this project. You're derelict in your duty of research if you don't research it. All right, we also have right here, this is the Oprah Winfrey show, where a woman came on there and she was revealing the blood sacrifices. She was a Jewish lady, and she was revealing what was going on behind the scenes. We have right here this lady, Jeanette Archer. She went in front of Queen Elizabeth's castle and was telling everybody what's going on with the children, how they're kidnapping. Now, this is all this lady, she announcing this with her right there. You got to watch this. Now, they talking about sex trafficking and all this. All these people are talking about this. Fall of the Cabal. You got to watch all this entire narrative. This is some of the best research that's ever been conducted about the elite, how they're involved in human trafficking and child pornography. But you won't see any of these people talk about that. They're mad at a man because he's going around telling everybody how to be more masculine. Let's keep going. We're going down here even more. And you can see they got a part 1 and part 2 of this Fall of the Cabal too. All right. They did 2 of them. You got to watch those. All right. Also, you should watch these things about the vaccines. They were very good. A gentleman came on here right here. He told you exactly what was going to happen with the blood clots and all of this. Watch what this gentleman says. He did this months ago. He said in 6 months it was going to happen, and almost 6 months to the time it started happening with all the blood clots. And we got a video out called now, Died Suddenly. If you haven't watched Died Suddenly, you need to watch it. But before you do, watch Mr. Dr. Sean Brooks, PhD, speak to a city council of Ohio about the mRNA vaccine. All right, and watch and see if this is a coincidence. Remember what I'm saying. When something happens 2 times, it's a coincidence. When it happens 3 times, it's a warning. Remember that. All right, don't get into this coincidental type of thing with these people. All right, the Most High, the creator of the balanced universe, he's going to send messages to you. The truth always wills out. These people cannot hide the truth forever. It's impossible. What they have to do is they have to give you the truth and then convince you not to believe it. They have to give you the truth and convince you not to believe it. Let's keep on going. We need to go down here. Also, let's look at some of these things. Look at some real interesting things down here. Right here, this is when I read, if you did not read the consent form, you were derelict also if you took that vaccine and didn't read the consent form. I read it for you right here, so you'll know what's on it. The consent form. The last broadcast I did is on here too. They blocked it. If you wonder, well, what happened to the last live stream that you did? They blocked it. They blocked it in every country. So I had to download it. I put it up over here. The New World Order and Feminism, I put it over here in case you were wondering where it was at. They blocked it. All right. Then we go down here. Welcome to the Brotherhood. This is a good one, but one that this is right here was interesting too. You need to listen to Aaron Russo explain to you this interview of what the final plan is. He talked to Nelson Rockefeller, all right, who's one of the elite, and he was asking them questions about the wars and things of that nature, and he asked him what the end game was. He said the end game is to have a digital currency and have everybody have a chip in their arm, and if you don't agree to what they want you to do, they'll just turn your chip off. That's the end game. Total economic control. And this is also outlined to you in Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, how they were going to control society. And they do it through stages. And the people who are speaking out against this become targets. It's a lot of information out there, y'all. It's just that those of us who have been researching this ever since we were in our 20s, it's not surprising to us. We know about it. It's a lot of you who have been walking around like some type of preambulating plant who are, oblivious to what's in front of your eyes who don't know this. You got to also understand, like people who come into the chat room, people who come into the message boards, they have bots. All right, they have people on deck. When they did this, they got people ready to go on every video and talk down about this man. Talk down about anything that you're talking about. And this is what I'm saying is you got to get into the habit of blocking people. There's nothing wrong with blocking people who don't share your views. Now is not the time to really be engaging in people with arguments about things. If you got a view and you stand on what it is, only associate with like-minded people. If these people don't share your views, block them. Block them. They don't have any power. Let me tell you something what would happen to me. When I was blocking all of these people off Facebook, let me tell you how these people get down. They were sending all these bots at me. I was blocking all of them. A thing popped up on my screen saying, do you need help? You know, we can suggest that you go get some mental help or something like that. They were actually trying to say that I had a mental problem or something like that. You watch out. Watch out. I'm telling y'all, watch out. That's going to be the thing. That's going to be the next thing, is they're going to be trying to give a lot of you who have certain views, you're going to be looked at as crazy. You're going to be looked at it. There's going to come a time where you're going to be looked at as crazy to say there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. See, this gets into energy and the true nature of reality in the universe itself. And I'm telling you, the biggest thing that they're hiding from you is the law of attraction. That's the biggest thing they don't want you to understand. That right there is the evidence that you are responsible for everything that happens to you. They don't want to buy into that narrative. You need to go and watch Kevin Trudeau's Your Wish is Your Command. That is probably, he did 10 years in prison, and I believe he did it for putting out that video. I believe he did it for putting out that. They try to say it's for that, he put out a book, secrets that they don't want you to know about. You know, natural cures they don't want you to know about. They try to make it about that, but I don't believe that was the reason. I believe it's when he put out that Your Wish is Your Command. I think he went against the Illuminati, putting out information to the general public. That's what they do. I think that's what they did with Dr. Malachi Z. York. I think that's what, and they got him with sexual allegations. That's what they do. When you start, I think these people, they were part. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I might, I've been kind of wondering about this. When you become ultra rich, obviously you have access to circles of people that nobody else has access to. Kind of like when Cat Williams talked about the Illuminati, when he went on the comedy show and he started that, he got stung, and he came out publicly and said, you know, the Illuminati is nobody to be playing with. And I believe that, I think that if you have signed some kind of contract or done something with these people, and then you go against that, that is what's going to, you know, they're going to take some sort of vengeance against you. And Zionists are known to never forget. It don't matter if centuries go by, they're going to get their revenge on you. They're going to get their revenge on you. They're going to get revenge on your people, even if your people aren't the ones who did it. All right. Now, what's really interesting about that is that they got a video on here that everybody should listen to. It is called Hollywood Casting Couch, Satan's Playground. And they took this off the internet too, but I saved it on BitChute. It is definitely a video. It's an audio. You need to listen to this guy. This is how I found out about the website Ghetto Gaggers. All you women out there, all you feminists. I don't even understand how the feminists allow. If you're a feminist watching this, and y'all talking about sex trafficking, and if you some weak ass man on here talking about Andrew Tate is like a web pimp, why is it you aren't saying anything about Ghetto Gaggers? Why are you not saying? I'm not gonna put this on because it's ghetto. They call it Ghetto Gaggers. I didn't even know about this website. Oops. I can't see the Black women, white men, rough sex. I don't know if I can put it on the screen because I don't want to get demonetized. But right here, you can see this right here, Ghetto Gaggers. If you are a black woman and you out here and you talking about feminism, why are y'all allowing that website? Why aren't you boycotting that website? Why is that website allowed to continue? I don't understand it. I mean, that has to be the biggest insult to the feminists ever. Ever. Especially if you're a black feminist. There is nothing that you can come at me with that is more insulting to the feminists than that website. Hold on, let me see if there's anybody there. What is more? Has anybody been to that website and seen that website? Anybody, what's wrong with that? Look at somebody said, black women, white men, rough sex, what's wrong with that? Why don't you go over to the website and look at it? Don't ask me, G-Man, what's wrong with it. Or super white privilege. Look at these names they got in here, super white privilege. These ain't nothing but plants they got over here. They got them all out. All this was organized. When they arrested him, the media was there. They knew that everybody was going to start live streaming. They were ready for everything. They got their people in all the chats on all the on the websites and everything like that. Just check them out. I've been watching this for a long time. But you got his ghetto gaggers. I cannot go. You're gonna have to go to it on your own. I can't put it on the screen, but you're gonna have to go to it on your own and check out this website. Let me go back over here on this bid shoot. This is my bid shoot. Another thing that you got to watch. Watch this on Black Lives Matter. We know Black Lives Matter was funded by George Soros. It's nothing but a feminist LGBTQ organization. Definitely want to listen to All Wars Are Bankers' Wars. The banks are ones running everything. That's a very important video to watch. Very important video to watch. All Wars Are Banker War. The guy who narrated that did an excellent job. Excellent job. All Wars Are Bankers' Wars. We definitely want to. This right here got my website taken down, my YouTube channel. The Deep State Formation, The Great Awakening, Council of Foreign Relations by Myron Fagan. Definitely got it. That's about the liberals. And the reason that they don't like videos like that, because he's going in on the liberals and showing you how they're a communist organization, which I've already made that connection with them based on my own research without any type of influence from anybody else, just conducting my own research. I was able to come to a conclusion that the Democratic Party is nothing, and the liberals, they're nothing but communists. And the people who are their supporters, they understand that. They've actually made communism something that is appealing. That is appealing, and it goes directly against nature. The reason it goes directly against nature, because it goes directly against the law of attraction, which is the law of love. Another name for the law of attraction is the law of love. So this is where the connection with Satanism and everything that they're doing comes into play. I'm telling you, I've researched this, man. Y'all got to go into this and really see it. This is not I hate to make it seem like it's some us against them or some sort of Democrats against Republican. It's really not a Democrat and Republican type thing. It's more so a thing where they understand that they understand what karma is. So they can't force you to do anything. They have to influence you. It's like the devil. The devil can't force you to do anything. All he can do is persuade you, influence you, trick you, lie to you, do things like that, but he can never force you to do anything because it's a free will universe. Well, it's the same thing. They always have to offer you a choice. Like they tell you that on the seventh day God rested, and then they make the weekend Saturday and Sunday. How can it be the weekend? The first day of the week is Sunday. The last day of the week is Saturday. They got the weekend, Saturday, say, let you when you want to go to church on Saturday or Sunday. Even though we were told that the seventh day is the day he rested, y'all go to church on the first day. They always are going to give you a choice on everything that you do. They have to give you a choice to allow you to decide, because only then can there be a determination of whether or not you're worthy. Somebody said, what I asked is okay, why you asking me a question? You ain't went to the website, man. Ain't nobody said there's anything wrong with having rough sex. I read what the website said. Won't you take your ass over there and open it up and look at it and come back and then ask the question, what's wrong with it? Do you know why you're not going to do that? Because it is white men over there brutalizing black women, and you got a name on there, super white privilege, and you're going to look like a damn fool coming back saying what's wrong with it. Because anybody over there goes and see it is going to see what's wrong with it. But you got a name super white privilege. But you came over here looking for something, didn't you? And I'm going to give you you came to the right place. I'm going to put your ass on the hot seat. Go on over there and look at it and come back and tell us what you think. Y'all supposed to be so, against trafficking and, y'all supposed to be for what's good and right in the American way and what's right and everything. Well, let's see. Won't you denounce that? One thing I never see y'all liberals do, y'all never denounce a Zionist. Them feminists, they will never denounce a Jewish man or a Zionist. They will never do it. They'll talk about men like they damn dogs. They talk men ain't shit. They talk about men ain't shit, man ain't shit. But let them say, okay, what about these guys over here? Oh, I'm not anti-Semitic or anything. They ball up quick in a motherfucker. All that damn feminist shit go out the window. Go out the window. They ball up quick as hell. When you start throwing, that's the tool you use on them. Because they'll say, well, what about your masters? The people that are funding you. The people who created this narrative that you believe in. What about them? These are men. Karl Marx was a man. Your ideology that you subscribe to was given to you by a man. Gloria Steinem, I think, was she Jewish? Why are black women even feminists? I have no idea how that had anything to do with us. It goes on. You can see right here, everything in there. Hitler, the greatest story never told. Obviously, that's a good one. The Hidden Tyranny. Benjamin Friedman. This is one. This is a Jewish man telling you the truth. Telling you the truth. All right, you need to go over here and watch some of these videos with an open mind on my BitChute. Because these are ones that banned off YouTube. They banning them off YouTube. They're not going to let them be on YouTube. You're not going to be able to conduct any kind of research on any other social media platforms. Like if you are on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube trying to get some information, you just in the matrix. You're trying to find out information in the matrix. You got to go outside the matrix to get information. You're not getting any information in the matrix. Because they only let flow on there what they want to. Back to this. So Greta, whatever her name is, she just, they just blowing it up. Oh, she blasting them, small dick energy. Whatever. What's more, Tate then created a video response to Thornburg's tweet, which featured pizza boxes from Jerry's Pizza, a company with locations in Romania. Now, Tate might have slipped on that. He may have slipped on that. There are speculations the pizza boxes helped Romanian authorities track down Tate. I mean, if he came with a passport, it seemed like they would be able to track him anyway. That just seems like that's retarded, but I don't know. I'm not, I don't work in their industry. I don't know, but I know these people have technology, and I think that they could be able to track this man a lot easier. All they do is just put a stake out at his house. Know he's coming back into the country. They know when you travel. Says the Daily Mirror says a spokesperson for Tate stated, "We cannot provide any details at the moment regarding alleged reports that he had been detained. However, Andrew and Tristan Tate have the utmost respect for the Romanian authorities and will always assist and help in any way that they can." All right, and that's it. It's not, it's like that's it. It's like, it's allegations, and the internet is on fire with this. And what I'm saying, and what I'm doing this for, is because if you've ever been in custody before, had fraudulent allegations lodged against you, if you've ever had fraudulent allegations, that's a very hurtful thing. It talks about that in the Sirach, when a person slanders. Let me see if I can find it. What did he say? Let me see if this is it right here. It was talking about things that God hates. Let's see if this is it right here. Slander has been driven out courageous women, and it has deprived them of the rewards of their work. Those who pay attention to slander will never find rest, nor will they live in peace. The blow of a whip leaves a welt, but the blow of a tongue will break bones of the sword. But many more have fallen because of the tongue. Many have fallen by the edge. Happy is the person who is protected from the tongue, who hasn't endured its anger, who hasn't pulled its yoke, or has been bound by its shackles. Its yoke is made of iron, and its shackles are made of bronze. The death it inflicts is a wicked death, and the grave is preferable to it. It will never conquer the godly, and they won't be burned by its flame. Those who abandon the Lord will fall to it. It will burn within them, and it will never go out. It will be sent against them like a lion, and like a leopard, it will mangle them. Watch out. Fence in your property with thorns. Lock up your silver and gold. Ban make a door and bolt for your mouth. make a balance and a weight for your words, as to watch your words. But right here, this is something else that I found out too. Like, this is what I want y'all to start doing too. Like, when you have these feminists and just anybody off of the left come against you, start hitting them with scriptures out of the Bible. Yes, start hitting them with scriptures out the Bible. When they start talking about, I'm not beholden to any man, pull out a scripture out the Bible that talks about it. Isn't that where you get your belief from? Isn't that the fundamental? I heard this lady say on this show with Andrew Tate that marriage is not a contract. I'm like, where the hell are you talking about marriage? Marriage has always been a contract. She was trying to make a distinction between common law marriage and a legal marriage with a license, but she didn't understand what she was saying. Marriage has always been a contract. But you need to go and start using scriptures against these people. When they make a statement, pull out a scripture, it's some power in it. Because what you're doing is you're kind of making them publicly denounce God. You have to get to the root of who they are. You have to publicly make them denounce God. You got to start using scriptures, whether it's from the Quran, whether it's from the Torah, whether it's from the Injil or whatever. You have to use scripture against these people. Not necessarily because of, because it's some power that it, even though it does, any of the Psalms is nothing but a book of spells, but because it's going to expose them for who they are. See, right now, we have to set up the demarcation line that separates the godly from the godless. Let's look at something real quick. Let's go to it's called the Wisdom of Solomon. And it's in chapter 2. Now this verse, let me preface what I'm going to say about this verse. When I was, going through my ordeal, I had to, I started getting into the Bible and different scriptures very heavily. And I had to start, because sometimes things are going to happen to you in life that's going to make you start to lean on your spiritual understanding. You're going to have to ground yourself. If you're not spiritually grounded, you're like floating in the wind, and you could be tossed to eat in one way or the next. You have to ground yourself with something. I'm not saying be a Christian. I'm not saying be a Muslim. I'm not saying any of them things. I'm saying whatever it is, whatever spiritually that resonates with you, you're going to have to ground yourself with that, because that's your truth. And you have to ground. The double-minded man can hope to receive nothing from the Lord. You're being tested. You're being tested. So this right here, the reason I like this Wisdom of Solomon, is discussing the test that we all must go through. This is the test. All right, when you start claiming that you are a child of God, and that's what we're doing. If you're crazy right now, if you don't think that it's some spiritual battle going on between light and darkness, and I don't mean to preach to y'all today, but I want y'all to look at this scientifically. Scientifically. You probably are not familiar with the Sirach. It's in the Catholics. If you're a Catholic, you are. Because y'all have the Apocrypha. Those books are included in your book, and they were removed from all the other Christian organization books and gave them 66 books. 66. But right here, why is Wisdom of Solomon shown with King James Bible? Okay, let's read this real quick. I want you to think, this is the test. And this is also the people who say they don't believe in God. The people who don't believe in God, they don't believe in an afterlife. A person that can kill somebody or slander somebody or put some type of fake charges on somebody for money or something like that, they don't believe in an afterlife. They don't believe in a God. That's why they can do things with a clear conscience. They don't have a conscience. They don't have a soul. A soul is your emotional body. You sell your soul. When you sell your soul, you'll do anything. You don't have a conscience about things. And so the first part of this discusses the mindset of these people. They are referred to as the ungodly. A person with a God mind versus a person who has an ungodly mind. Let's look at the distinguishing characteristics between these two individuals. It's for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves. These people reason with themselves. They don't have anything to lean on. They lean on their own understanding. You hear them talk about, I don't need to read a book. As if you don't need to read something that's in cuneiform or on the pyramid walls or some ancient text or something like that. You can just learn everything on your own. That's ridiculous. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither were there any man known to have returned from the grave. Nobody's come back from the dead and told you there's an afterlife. Why are we doing this? I want to have my heaven right now on earth. I understand the thought process. I know people in Hollywood, people who made it in the music business. Hell, I've even talked to some of them. I said, you'll probably have to bend over and let a man screw you in the butt, to get this music contract. And you know what he said to me? He said, it's better than being out here. Some of them have already consigned in their mind, I will give up my manhood if I get to live a life where I can have sex with beautiful women and have money. It is better having a life of luxury, a life of fame and fortune than a life and where you're just a regular average person out here. I'm telling you now, I'm giving y'all some insider information now. Y'all gonna have to believe me if you want to. It's how these people think. It goes on. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart. Now, this is all almost 4,000 years ago, where you had people thinking like this. It's like, man, what are y'all talking about, man? After we die, there is no consciousness. There is no consciousness. This is kind of like what the Jehovah's Witnesses have. When you die, you just go to the grave, Sheol. There's no consciousness. You're going to be resurrected to an eternal life afterward, but when you die, you're not cognizant of anything. There's no consciousness. Now, let me talk about that. Anyone who's had an out-of-body experience, and I've had one, and I think an out-of-body experience happens to you to make you lose fear of death. I think it lets you lose, because I'm telling you, when I had mine, I've something I will never forget. Anybody who's ever had one, you will never forget. And what it will make you realize that the consciousness can exist apart from the physical body. That the etheric cord that tethers your spirit to the human body is a silvery elastic cord that once severed, that's what you call death. Google etheric cord. The etheric cord. It goes on. So right here, they're saying, once we die, ain't nothing else. And they go on, they say, which being extinguished, our body shall return into ashes and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. Listen now, these are the people that'll sell you out. These are the people filled with hate in their soul. These are the people that can do something dirty to someone and not feel bad about it. These are the people that can kill someone. They can stain their soul. I saw your little comment in the chat room talking about you can murder someone who's trying to murder. Nobody talking about self-defense. You know what I'm talking about. And crime is talking about intent, criminal intent. What were your intentions? That's what you're judged on. Don't be stupid in the comment section. That's another thing that they do. They try to change the narrative. You get to talking about one thing, they start bringing up rape. What about a woman who got raped? What about one, you don't believe in abortion? What about a woman who got raped? Well, none less than 1%. That's less than 1% of the cases. They started talking about the exception instead of the rule. That's another tactic that they use. It goes on. And our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. One thing I like about what Solomon said when he was talking about everything is just vanity. That's why all these wealthy men make these big, huge buildings and things as memory to themselves, because, they understand, well, how I'm going to be remembered after I leave. That's why trust is so important also. Understanding trust, because after I leave, how am I going to be remembered? How's my name going to be remembered? They want their name to ring forth for centuries. But even with the construction of something as old as the pyramid and the amount of time and space on this planet, that's a blink of an eye. It's all vanity. Solomon was true when he said that. It goes on, he says, come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. All right, they want to enjoy their youth. That's what's being taught to all your young ladies right now. You know, you can screw as many people as you want. Ain't nothing wrong with that. For a person to think like that, they can have no morality. There are no bounds. There's nothing to restrain them. Do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt. The Thelema, do what thou wilt. Aleister Crowley. There it is, all you people out there. These are the people that you're going against. That is the message that's being propagated. I remember when Procter & Gamble, there were allegations made against them that they were putting all of the 666 on all of the products. There was this thing said that the president said it doesn't matter because there are more Satanists now than there are Christians. And I believe that now. I'm seeing that firsthand. I believe that. I didn't believe it back then, but now I believe it. I believe that there are more Satanists in the world than there are mainstream religion. Well, at least in positions of power. At least in positions of power, in control of the media and control of that, at least in a position of power. But this is what is being taught to your youth. They even are teaching your youth to do this, the Baphomet. With the Baphomet sign, we got his hands. Y'all see your children. If you'll go back and look at the Wiz Khalifa video, black and white, they got a couple other videos out there. They putting it all in the videos. Y'all don't even see it. I got a video on this channel. The revolution will not be televised. You can watch it. I got it on that. My revolution, it's right here on my YouTube channel. But right here, this is the Baphomet sign. They got all your children doing this right now. Matter of fact, in that video, black and white, they got the Baphomet, and then they got a young little boy standing in front of them making this Baphomet sign, and they got all y'all children thinking that's some sort of cool sign to be making. And y'all doing it with it. This is Satanism, y'all. Y'all not paying attention. Y'all think this is some kind of joke. Lucifer is the morning sun. Satan is the adversary. I know what the names mean. The Baphomet is not the same. You don't have to try to educate me with this. I know what it is. I know who the archangels are and who are the princes and demons and things of that nature. You got the Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub, Baal. Come on, man. Don't get into that. Don't get me in no discussion talking about the difference between Lucifer and the difference between Shaitan. Iblis. We can get into the different names. So let's get on. It says, let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us. And this is what I'm saying about do what thy wilt. You can do whatever thy wilt. Just be prepared to accept the consequences. There's something called cause and effect. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. That's what they got your women doing right now. They all on Instagram. Everybody got their ass out. Got their ass and their titties out. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion, and our lot is this. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. They don't revere the older people. They think the old people just old and stupid. Your young people, they don't honor the old people. They don't honor wisdom. They think they know it all. Let our strength be the law of justice. Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. We can read the protocols of the learned elders of Zion and the first protocol, and they say that straight out. Our might is right lies in might. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. They can't stand the righteous person. He offends them. These people get offended. When you start trying to make a man be a man and a woman be a woman, they get offended. They get offended. Let's go on. He professeth to have the knowledge of God, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. That's what this is going on. People down here, that's what we do. When you see these people come out and become very popular, that's who they are. We reprove their thoughts. Their thoughts, these thoughts, these unnatural thoughts that they have, and they're trying to get the people to do. He is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like that of others of men. His ways are of another fashion. I want y'all to think about Andrew Tate right now. They're gonna demonize Andrew Tate. They got to destroy his name before they destroy the man. They got to destroy his name and everything that he stands for. They got to destroy the name. That was what, anybody watched The Gladiator? That was an excellent movie, because they told him that too. They told Maximus that his homeboy, who was the African guy, when the emperor found out he was still alive, and they were talking, he said, he got to destroy your name before he destroy you. He can't just kill you. He can't just kill you. He's not going to martyr you. They got to destroy your name first, and then we can destroy you. He is grievous unto us even to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. Their ways are filthy. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and he maketh his boast that God is his father. And here's what they do. Here's the test. Let us see if his words be true. Let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the Son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hands of his enemies. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that he may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death. They got to destroy his name first. You got to destroy their name first. We're going to kill him. We got to be a shameful death. For by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. These people are blinded. You could talk to some of these people and they don't make any sense, some of the things they say and some of the things they believe in, like there's more than two genders. They actually are making arguments for that. They're actually trying to get some of y'all to go with that. You got to be the biggest damn fool on planet Earth to even entertain that, when it's obvious you can only have a child with a man and a woman. The propagation of the species depends on you honoring nature. Baal means Lord. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. They didn't discern the reward. This is why I tell you, all these people out who kill somebody, you stain your soul, a blameless soul. Think about if you had an abortion. I don't mean to attack you women out there, but think about it. You know it bothers you. It bothers some of y'all for the rest of y'all life. That's called a stain on your soul. Do you really not think that you don't think there's a cause and effect for every action? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You don't think there's a reward for doing things the right way? This is why I say natural law. When people say, well, why do I have to, why can't I just have sex with everybody? You can do whatever you want to do. Just be prepared to accept the consequences. Do you know what the consequences are? If you don't know what the consequences are, then we have a name for that. It's called operating in ignorance. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world. And they that do hold on his side do find it. Notice they said envy of the devil. This is also why you got to read both books. This is something I never understood. Why y'all just reading the Bible and not the Quran? Why you not seeing the story in there? When Iblis, he was brought before God and he asked to bow down before man. He said, I'm not bowing down before man. He said, I'm from the Northern Simoon. I'm from the smokeless fire. This is a man of clay. I'm greater than he. Why do you want me to bow down to him? He said, I know what you know not. He said, I'm going to show you these human beings ain't worth nothing. This is why it's a test. Can't you see what's going on? Right now, they making y'all go against all of your morality. They're getting you to throw it all out the window. It's a test. It's a proving ground to show that you are not worthy. And if you're not worthy, if you don't have no type of morality, if you don't have anything that bounds you, that honors you, that tethers you to the creator of the boundless universe, you know better than an animal. And like it says in Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, by your choice and consent, your stakes on the table. You are meant to be a slave. It really kind of bothered me when I saw Andrew Tate get arrested today because, in my position, I know what is happening with stuff like that. When I see things like that, and what really hurts is that they can put anything in the media and everybody will just believe it. That's one of the things I always worried about. I'm like, man, these people, that's why I try to, like, when you get in a position like this, you got to govern yourself accordingly. You got to make sure all your taxes are paid. You got to make sure that all your filings are right. You got to make sure that if you go out on a date with a woman, that you can't get put in any type of compromising position or something like that. If you just everything about you speak to somebody in the inbox, you got to make sure whatever you say, somebody can't screenshot it back on you. You got to govern yourself accordingly when you're in a position like mine. Everything in your life you got to watch because you sitting out here going against the matrix. So you got to make it where if they can't find nothing on you, they're gonna have to make the shit up. I was in a county jail, and a guard told me that. He said, let me tell you something. He said, if they don't have nothing on you, they'll make something up. You better hope they don't make nothing up on you. I was in jail. I was a jailhouse lawyer, and I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this. There was an inmate, his attorney came to see them. You have visitation from your attorneys in there. And his attorney came to see him. And when he came back from visiting his attorney, he wanted to speak to me. He was a young guy. He probably 16, 17 years old. And he said, oh, gee. He said, man, they want me to testify against this guy, and they're gonna reduce my sentence. I said, okay. I said, well, you gonna do it? He said, I don't know. He said, I don't even know who he is. This is what goes on. So when I see something like this, I already know what the move is. You don't. You got to be a damn fool to believe everything that you see on TV, on the news media. That's why I'm always bringing out who owns it. Why aren't y'all looking into who owns all these media channels? The Guardian. I had to start researching the Guardian. They put the Guardian in a trust. We don't know who owns it. That was a smart move, putting the Guardian in a trust. It's in a trust. You don't know who owns it. You got to do a little bit more research and see who the settler of the trust is. And that'll give me some more insight into it. They got it hidden pretty good. Yes, if you're with the Guardian, yes, I'm researching your ass. I'm looking. I'm on your ass. I'm on your ass. I'm looking. He said a video where he got the pizza handed to him looked scripted. It could be. You don't know. I don't know what to believe. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to believe. All I know is this. You have to be given a choice, and they have to tell you what they're planning to do. And they have chosen to do that in movies and in media. That's the only thing I know. I don't know what to believe, and that's why I say you have to ground yourself. You have to know what the natural laws are. That's the only thing that's going to save you. That's the only way you're going to be able to make a determination of what you would term right and wrong, is by knowing what the natural laws are. If you don't have any natural laws, you're just going off your own whims. You're just going off of what your own, leaning on your own understanding of things that could be faulty. You got to ground yourself in something that doesn't change. And the only thing that doesn't change are God's laws. And I'm using the word God loosely, really natural laws. That's the only thing that doesn't change. Let me show you some things. This right here is something that I think everybody should take a look at. It's called the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Let me see if I can find a PDF on it. This is the copy I like right here, this one right here. And you can see right here in this table of contents, the key of wisdom, which is a very, very good one. The key of magic, the key of mysteries, the key of time, the key of above and below, the law of cause and effect, and the key of prophecy. You know, the key of prophecy is to know cause and effect. That's how you prophesize. For all you people want to be prophets. The way you prophet is you can determine the future by looking at what action a person is taking if you understand the reaction that is associated with it. But if we go down here, the seven lords, key of mysteries, key of freedom of space, key of time, key to above and below. Did I miss it? I don't think I missed it. What I was looking for. Let me read the law of cause and effect and the key of prophecy. List ye, O man, to the words of my wisdom. List ye to the voice of Thoth, the Atlantean. Conquered have I the law of time, space. Knowledge have I gained of the future of time. Know that man, in his movement through space-time, shall ever be one with the all. Know ye, O man, that all of the future is an open book to him who can read. All effects shall bring forth its causes, as all effects grew from the first cause. The first cause, of course, is the creator. Know ye, the future is not fixed or stable, but varies as cause brings forth an effect. Look in the cause thou shalt bring into being, and surely thou shalt see that all is effect. So, man, be sure, the effects that ye bring forth are ever causes of more perfect effects. Know ye, the future is never in fixation, but follows man's free will as it moves through the movements of time-space toward the goal where a new time begins. Man can only read the future through the causes that bring the effects. Seek ye within the causation, and surely you shall find the effects. And this is just very beautifully worded about cause and effect, how basically how the future is not fixed. And this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a free will universe. You always are free to decide your course of action and how the future shall pan out for you. You are in control of your destiny, not anyone else. Now, it gets into some discussion further that the decisions you make need to be free of influence. And only a true person who can truly call themselves a sovereign, who can truly call themselves a God man or a God woman, is the person who truly exercises independent thought. And in able to exercise independent thought, you need to be free of influence, and you need to be able to have some method to determine that you are not being influenced. Did y'all get what I'm saying right there? Let me go over here to Key of wisdom. Always look for wisdom. Let me tell me, your young people out there. If you're 20 years old, if you're reading anything, just read books on wisdom. Pick up anything you can find on wisdom. Just study. You need to saturate your mind because you are starting fresh in the world and you have to be wise. You have to saturate your mind with wisdom. It's going to help you from making bad mistakes in life. I'm not saying you won't make any mistakes, but it'll definitely guide you. You know, for instance, like ever since I was a young man, I had a rule against messing with married women. I think men that mess with married women are cursed because there is a karmic debt and there's a cause and effect. And you have to pay for that. Why would you bring that on yourself? But you living in a world now where anything goes. Do what thou wilt. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Do what thou wilt. Let's read this. I thought the Atlantean, give of my wisdom, give of my knowledge, give of my power. Freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. Wisdom is power and power is wisdom. You notice that veil and evil are, kind of have the same words in it. Your mind has a veil that's preventing you from seeing something. Wisdom is power and power is wisdom. One with each other, perfecting the whole. Be thou now proud, O man, in thy wisdom. Discourse with the ignorant as well as the wise. If one comes to thee full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is all. Keep thou not silent when evil is spoken, for truth like the sunlight shines above all. He who oversteppeth the law shall be punished, for only through law comes the freedom of man. Now, let me tell y'all something. That's a very powerful statement right there. I saw in this other esoteric book, it says the only way to defeat nature is to obey her. And what that means is in order to have power, you have to bring yourself into harmony with the laws. If you're going to perform like magic and things like that, there are laws that govern everything. You have to learn what those laws are and you have to obey those laws. If you are acting against a law, like for instance, having sex in a certain kind, I'm always using sex as an example because I think that's one of the things that we abuse mostly and is the least understood. Okay, when you have sex in certain kinds of ways, when a woman first has a first sexual encounter and things like that, if you don't know what the law is, you don't know what that's doing to your soul or your spirit. You're acting in ignorance. And there's going to be some sort of effect of that. Freedom comes from knowing the law, as it says, and now you can do things with knowledge. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And that's another thing. It doesn't say set you free. It says make you free. You go to John 8:32, it says the truth shall make you free. You are made free, not set free. It goes on. Follow thy heart during thy lifetime. Do thou more than is commanded of thee. When thou hast gained riches, follow thy heart. For all these are of no avail if thy heart be weary. Diminish thou not thy time of following thy heart. It is abhorred of the soul. I've said this all the time. It is an anathema to the soul to not do what your heart desires. You don't know how much time you got. I like how Buddha said. He said the problem with men is they think they have time. A lot of y'all moving through life like y'all got a lot of time. All of us got different times. I like the analogy I think that is used in Islam where it talks about, I believe this was I was studying a Sufi doctrine where it was talking about it's like trees, like leaves on a tree. And every time one of the leaves fall off the tree, there's a death. You don't know when your leaf is going to fall off the tree. Enjoy your life. Do what your heart desires. Why are you tethered to a desk or a job? And in your mind and in your soul is yearning for something else, and you're too afraid to let go. That's the leap of faith. I did it. I let go, and man, I'm gonna tell you, every time I let go, it was incredible how my life just changed so dramatically. You're rewarded for having faith. Faith without works is dead. You're gonna make your heart weary. It is an anathema to the soul not to do what the heart desires. Why would you give up on your dreams? You ready to die. You might as well roll over and die. They that are guided go not astray. This is why you need mentors. Mentors follow the principle of cause and effect. Do what I do and you'll get what I get. This is why you need a mentor. Mentors, that is based off the principle of cause and effect. You do not try to recreate success. You emulate success. Stop thinking you can create a new way to success. They that are guided go not astray, but they that are lost cannot find a straight path. The road leading into everlasting life. What does it say? The road leading to destruction is wide and spacious, and many are the ones going through it. The road leading into everlasting life is narrow and cramped, and few are the ones finding it. That's not the Bible. That's in the book of Matthew. I think it's chapter 24. I'm just only putting the Bible verses because I want to show you how there is a correlation between verses you see in the Bible, seeing the teachings of Jesus and teachings of other sages throughout the ages. He wasn't saying nothing that was new. He wasn't saying nothing new. He just said it in a different way. That's the beauty about comparative religious study. When you look at the patriarchs and the matriarchs of all different societies, and you see the wisdom that they have channeled through from the upper level, from the upper regions of the heavens and everything. You see I saw one comparison. It says like gold. It said you can take gold, you can make it into necklaces, you can make it into rings, you can make it into earrings, but it's all gold. They that are guided go not astray, but they that are lost cannot find a straight path. If they go among men, make for thyself love the beginning and end of the heart. If one cometh unto thee for counsel, when you get into an argument with somebody, you don't let an argument end on a bad note. Try, if you can, to say, you know what, I love you. No matter how they crossed you. Say, I love you, but I can't deal with you anymore. I can't help you no more, but I love you. Try to end everything in love because you get what you give. You get what you give. You put hate out into the universe, hate is coming back to you. Forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you. This is what I'm talking about, why they don't want you to understand the law of attraction. Karma is rooted in the law of attraction. If one cometh unto thee for counsel, let him speak freely, that the thing for which he hath come to thee may be done. If he hesitates to open his heart to thee, it is because thou, the judge, doeth wrong. Repeat thou not extravagant speech, neither listen to it, for it is the utterance of one not in equilibrium. All these people on here, y'all see that? You got men on here, got gossip channels. Men engage in gossip. Men gossiping. Gossiping about other men. If you're a real man, you don't have time to gossip. You too focused on your goals. How you even, I don't even understand. I've never had time to sit and engage in discussions about other individuals. I don't have time for it. I'm too busy. I got too much to do. Every second you're getting closer to death, and you want to give that time away of your life gossiping about another man. Let me repeat this. Repeat thou not extravagant speech, neither listen thou to it, for it is the utterance of one not in equilibrium. Speak thou not of it, for that he before thee may know wisdom. Silence is of great profit, and abundance of speech profiteth nothing. Y'all know that silence is power. Hell, that's in the 48 laws of power. Ignore that which you don't. If you want to get revenge on somebody, ignore them. 48 laws of power. Silence. That was a lesson. This was a school for me. Silence. This was a school for me. Because I'm a talker, obviously. I make a living talking. But I had to learn when to shut up, when to be quiet, when to understanding the value of your attention. Whatever you give attention to, you give life to. Understanding that I'm the God. Exalt not thy heart above the children of men, lest it be brought lower than the dust. Don't be arrogant. One of the things, I've been blessed in my lifetime, and I had to learn that everything I have can be taken away from me in a second. This is some lesson you can look at with Andrew Tate right now. It's like he's very wealthy, but all that can be taken away in a second. That's what they're showing him. We could take all this away from you. We could take your life, take everything that you own in a second. He's being spiritually tested right now. He's being spiritually tested. The reason that I like Andrew Tate so much, the reason I like him so much, he's a strong man. That's a strong man. That's a strong brother. He's strong. I don't know if it's an act or anything like that, but he speaks a lot of truth. And he has the attention of millions of people. And you know what? That's not to say that he don't get afraid. Courage don't mean that you lack fear. Courage means that you do things in spite of fear, or it wouldn't be courage. And for people to sit there and demonize, I just don't understand people. It goes back, if thou be great among men, be honored for knowledge and gentleness. If you're going to be great, be known for knowledge and being gentle. If thou seekest to know the nature of a friend, ask not his companion, but pass time alone with him, debate with him, testing his heart by his words and his bearing. If you want to know someone, sit down and talk to them, find out who they are. That which goeth into the storehouse must come forth, and the things that are thine must be shared with a friend. What is it, having all this money, you don't have nobody to share it with. What you going to do, just stack up money for what? To die and give it to somebody else? One of the things I can't hate, I had to say this, they said it by Andrew Tate, and it's been said to me too. It's like, it's like you're not a man because you got a lot of money. That's why he's got that short dick energy. It's like, do you know how much of a man you have to be to become wealthy? You know how much focus, determination, and commitment it takes to accomplish things to become successful as an entrepreneur, illegally or legally? It takes just as much to make $1 million illegally as it do legally. Everybody out there slanging dope ain't rich, ain't a millionaire. It's just how you want to focus your energy. Wealth, you have to be a good custodian of wealth. People are giving wealth to bless other people. God bless people through other people. If you want wealth, tell the creator of the balanced universe that you promise to be a good custodian of it, that you promise to be responsible with it, that you promise to help your fellow man with it. Not just on fruitless pursuits and vain, luxuries and knowledge is regarded by the fool as ignorance, and the things that are profitable are to him hurtful. He liveth in death. It is therefore his food. I think that's self-explanatory. People who don't value knowledge. The wise man lets his heart overflow but keeps silent his mouth. That is nice. You can move in silence and bless people. You know, and you got people who do that, who bless people you know never knew who it is. I like that one. You need to marinate on that one. Oh man, listen to the voice of wisdom. Listen to the voice of light. Mysteries there are in the cosmos that unveiled fill the world with their light. Let he who would be free from the bounds of darkness first divine the material from the immaterial, the fire from the earth. For know ye that as earth descends to earth, also fire ascends to fire and becomes one with fire. He who knows the fire that is within himself shall ascend unto the eternal fire and dwell in it eternally. Fire, the inner fire, is the most potent of all force, for it overcometh all things and penetrates to all things of the earth. Do you know that you are the quintessence amalgamation of all of the elements in the universe, that you have earth, water, air, and fire in you, that you have a 98.6 degree body temperature, that you breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon monoxide, and fire needs oxygen to burn, and when it burns, it gives off carbon, and you have a 98.6 degree temperature, so you have fire in you, and that your body is 70% water, and then from dust you came, and dust you return, so you have earth, and that oxygen, you need oxygen to throw through the blood and through the veins and into the lungs, and then you have the fifth element, which is the spirit, which is located in the blood. Don't you know you're a composite of the universe? Why would you think that you can cure a disease with something made in a laboratory when it has to come from the elements that are from around you, because that is what you are composed of? And if you're ill, that is an imbalancement. You have to restore the equilibrium in the body of all the materials from the universe, not something from a laboratory. This should be common sense. Why do you think fasting has cured more people throughout history than any other remedy? Because it makes sense that if you're sick, you got dirty water. Take all the sewage water that is in your body that you see when you fast, all that piss that comes out yellow and all them toxins and everything come out, circulate the fresh water in and take the dirty water out and watch your health improve. Common sense. But no, you need to have an MD degree. You need somebody at a hospital to explain something to you that the creator of the boundless universe can make very simply known to you. You are constructed from the elements of the planet. It has to be that way because we exist on this planet in this space and time. So if you want to cure yourself, take from the elements in their natural form and reestablish them in the body. That seems like it should be common sense. Why would you think that you can ingest blood and not be subject to disease of an animal? Who is the first person? Who is the first person? I want you to think about this, because we talk about the beast man, the beast man. Who is the first person that looked at a cow grazing in a pasture and looked at that and said, I want to eat that? When you were eating fruits and vegetables, grapes, oranges, apples, who's the first being that looked at other living creatures? How did that thought come in your mind that another living creature was something that was edible? Who did that? Before it was cooked, before you had to use the elements of the earth that y'all call seasoning to put on it to make it taste okay, all right? Who did that? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about when they say living in the image of the beast? that you may be emulating a beast man, living in the image of the beast. He said, bro, whoever thought of milk from a cow was on some other shit. Yeah, that's another thing too. You know how they got, they gonna get the milk out the cow. Yeah, we need to drink this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm watching some of these shows. These people will find a new creature in the ocean that they've never seen before. I was watching a show, and the first thing they think about is how it tastes. Can they cook it and eat it? You are following people who think that every other living creature on the planet is edible. Alligators, snakes, snails, cows, rats, dogs in some areas, cats in some areas, all kind of fish out to sea, shrimp, crabs, lobster, crawfish, catfish, any type of damn animal that is a scavenger for some reason. And here's the thing too. They charge you an exorbitant price for something that kills you. And you say there's no devil. Do you ever think about that? Dude, I think about that. I'm thinking, they charging me a high-ass price for this lobster. And this lobster's a damn scavenger. I mean, it's a, it eats trash. A pig is the same, pork, chicken. You know what I'm saying? It's like you think about, why is it that we feel, snails, caviar, fish, eggs. Why is it we have to eat stuff from, that's what that movie that came out with Noah. Y'all, if you haven't watched the latest one, the last one, that was a good movie. It had a good message because it shows that Noah was trying to protect the animals from the beast people who were trying to eat them, because they believed that the spirit of these animals they could ingest and they become the spirit of this animal. Which I do think there's some truth in all of that, that you take on the blood of something. That's why, the Jews, they have kosher type meat that they have that has to be slaughtered in a certain way so that the terror and the fear of that animal won't go into the blood, because that gets into the blood and then you ingest it. Have you ever ate some food and then start feeling funny, getting nervous all of a sudden? Back when I ate meat, that happened to me. You'd eat something and all of a sudden you're feeling some kind of way or something because you've just ingested a dead animal that experienced some sort of trauma, and now you've ingested that trauma inside yourself. How did we get here today? We were talking about Andrew Tate. And we done went all the way around the world, but I think something like this was necessary, because when it's time for you to become tested, I guess the things that I'm talking about here today are when it's your time to be tested. How are you going to ground yourself? That's what I'm talking about today. How are you going to ground yourself? Everybody has to be tested. What are you grounded in? Where's your truth? How are you substantiating your truth? Truth doesn't change. Truth does not change. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Oh yeah, eating. I'm gonna tell you the weirdest thing ever to me was eating chitlins. You're gonna eat the intestines of the nastiest creature on planet Earth. They say a pig is a genetic splicing between a rat, a cat, and a dog. and the different variations of it, with the aardvark and the anteater and different things like that. You can see different variations. And the reason they created this animal, because there was a group of people that didn't know how to bury their dead. And so they had to create an animal that could eat dead animals and not be affected. And that's what a pig. A pig can eat any damn thing and not be affected. And you want to eat that? You want to eat something that can eat a dead body, and you're going to eat that? It has the trichina worm in it that infects the brain, that gets into the brain. You want to eat that? If you think I'm lying, if you eat pork out there, stop eating pork for 6 months and go back and try to eat it. Test yourself. Don't believe me. Put a test on it. Just stop eating it for 6 months and go back and see, do it smell different, taste different, and you feel different when you eat it. I stopped eating pork when I was 18 years old because I listened to a song by KRS-One called Beef. It was beef. What a relief. When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow, the way it gets to your plate and how. The cow doesn't grow fast enough for man, so through his greed, he makes a faster plan. He has drugs to make the cow grow quicker, and through the stress, the cow gets sicker. 21 different drugs are pumped inside the cow in one big lump. So just before it dies, it cries in a slaughterhouse full of germs and flies. Off with the head. They pack it, drain it, and cart it. And there it is in the local supermarket. Red and bloody, a corpse neatly packed. And then you wonder about heart attack? Come on, man, now let's be for real. You are what you eat is the way I feel, but the Food and Drug Administration will tell you meat is the perfect combination. I went and listened to that. And at the end of that, he talked about a book called How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. And I went and got that book because I love that song so much, and it changed my whole world. Thank you, A Nation of Islam, for How to Eat to Live. That's the book that made me stop eating pork. And then I got another book right after that. It's called The Miracle of Fasting by Paul Bragg. You know, Bragg got the apple cider vinegar in your grocery store. He has a book called The Miracle of Fasting. Best book I ever read. Best book I ever read. Best book I ever read. Anyway, y'all, I just wanted to get my message out here today. This thing with Andrew Tate. You know, I think it is a warning. You know, there is a verse. There is a maxim of law in the back of the Black's Law Dictionary. I have it, where it says you make an example of the one so the many will see. Okay, they like to make examples of people to discourage other people from stepping up to the plate and trying the same thing. Your biggest test in this life is going to be fear and doubt. Fear and doubt is the biggest tools that they use. Fear. False evidence appearing real. One of the first shows I did on high frequency radio when I first started my radio broadcast was fear is a decision. Fear is a decision. Will Smith made a very good movie, After Earth, where it was talking about that. That was a beautiful movie that he did with his son that was talking about fear. That was a great movie because fear is a decision. You got to overcome fear. Fear is an illusion. If God created the universe in love, where did fear come from? Why they got y'all afraid of the dark? Why they y'all got y'all afraid of the unknown? I thought the universe was created in love. And once we obey its laws, it will bend its will to it will bend to our will, and we can have whatever we want. As a matter of fact, what I love about this in right here with Tahuti, he talks about that the only way you'll even experience an accident is because you're not in perfect balancement. The only reason that you age is because you're not in perfect balancement. When you're in perfect balancement, things don't change. Death is a byproduct of change. And to stave off death, you need to bring yourself into balancement. Let me see if I can read it for you. This is good. Let's see if I can read this for you. It's called The Keys of Life and Death. Keys of life and death. Because all y'all got this fear of death. They hold that over your head. They try to make it seem like you are powerless. That's what the liberals do. They try to make it seem like you're a victim and you're powerless. You have no power. Listen, O man, and hear ye the wisdom. Hear ye the word that shall fill thee with life. Hear ye the word that shall banish the darkness. Hear ye the voice that shall banish the night. Mystery and wisdom have I brought to my children. Knowledge and power descended from old. Know ye not that all shall be open when ye shall find the oneness of all? One shall be with thee, masters of mystery, conquerors of death, and masters of life. Yea, shall learn of the flower of Amenti, the blossom of life that shines in the halls. In spirit shall ye reach the halls of Amenti, and bring back the wisdom that liveth in light. Know ye the gateway to power is secret. Know ye the gateway to life is through death. Through death, but not as ye know death, but a death that is life, and is fire, and is light. Desireth thou to know the deep hidden secret? Look in thy heart where the knowledge is bound. And this is so true. The only way you can understand something, it has to already be in you. Nobody's not saying that all knowledge is not in you, but sometimes you need help and bring. That's what an educator does. An educator does not indoctrinate. An educator draws out. An educator makes you find something that you already possess, helps you locate it. That's a true teacher. Somebody trying to indoctrinate you is something else. Deep in the earth's heart lies the flower, the source of the spirit that binds all in its form. For know ye that the earth is living in body as thou art alive in thy own formed world. Don't you know that the earth is alive? The Gaia is alive. That's why life comes from. Life can only beget life. Life grows out the earth. The earth is a living thing. Why did these dummies think that they're going to save the earth? That's what they were attacking Tate for, because he was saying that that all this stuff talking about climate change and all that is bullshit. And I agree with him, because the earth can protect us. You ain't finna save the damn planet, fool. You are a damn parasite on this world. Mother Earth, if she needs to get rid of you, she has things called hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, earthquakes, volcanoes. She has a lot of weapons at her disposal that none of you can figure out how to overcome. Listen, O man, while I tell thee the secret, reveal unto thee the secret of old. Deep in earth's heart lies the flower, the source of the spirit that binds all in its form. For know ye that the earth is living in body as thou art alive in thy own formed form. The flower of life, have y'all seen that book by, what is his name? Melchizedek, what is dude's name? The flower of life pattern. They got I don't know if y'all know about crop circles, but they have this flower of life pattern, Dravelo Melchizedek. He's the guy, they started doing the cloning, okay, with the first sheep. I forgot, I think sheep's name was Lucy or something like that. And they outlawed it in the public. I think Bush did, and they took it over to France privately. And right now, that's what they're doing right now, experimenting with cloning. And the purpose of it is because they believe that they can take the matrix, the living of the spirit, and shift it over into another body. This also is they got a movie on Netflix called, what is the name of that movie, y'all? They got a black woman discovered that she can record consciousness and put it in other bodies, and they call them sleeves. Very, very good book, movie. It's on. Somebody put it in the chat if you know the name of the Netflix show. It's real good. But this is based off of reality. When I see shows like that on Netflix, I'm like, okay, they trying to tell you something. But don't look at these shows just for some sort of altered carbon. Thank you very much, Robster. It's called Altered Carbon. Get on Netflix and watch. It was the very first season was I like both seasons. I like season 1 better than 2, but you should watch that video. That's giving you a glimpse into the future. It's giving you an understanding. It's also giving you an understanding of the level that their technology. They're like 50 to 100 years ahead of what they are revealing to you. The state of technology is so far beyond what you currently know. Altered carbon. So it goes on. Know ye, O man, that thy form is dual, balanced in polarity while formed in its form. Know that when fast on the death approaches, it is only because thy balance is shaken. It is only because one pole has been lost. Know that the body, when in perfect balance, may never be touched by the finger of death. Even accident may not approach when the balance is gone. May only approach when the balance is gone. This was beautifully stated, and it was also why I talk about the Kabbalion, why you need to know the 7 principles. Because now you can look at this, gives you some deep insight in understanding how death comes up on you and why your health is so important, and for you to understand how to bring in a perfect equilibrium in the body to stave off aging, to stave off change. Balancement, what they call perfection, is what is called balancement. When something's in perfect balancement, right, there's no change. It's only when when it comes off that equilibrium that change starts one side to the next. And that is what age is. Change. Think about that. Meditate on that. Doesn't that make sense? It's science. Doesn't that make sense? That the only reason you have change is because it's an imbalancement that brings on age and brings on death. Not to say it's easy to achieve, obviously, but this requires a lot of discipline. And that's the reason why they keep you preoccupied with jobs and everything. They don't want y'all to have time to sit around and think about these things. They don't want you to think about this stuff. They just want you on a job. You got to think of these people. It's almost like, this is why I say we got to talk about reptilians, because these people operate like they have the nature of a reptile, emotionless. It's like a reptile. No emotion, no feeling for you, no concern, no empathy for your situation. Go to work, be our battery. And let me tell you something about you people with jobs. They only want you to work as long as they need you. They bring in AIs. Their future goal is to have a world. They're going to reduce the population. They're going to reduce all the useless eaters, as they call them, people who make no impression on the world, who serve no purpose in their eyes. Okay, and they're going to have people who contribute in some kind of way significantly to society. And they're going to have their servants are going to be everything is going to be automated, and they're not going to have any need for the mindless and useless eaters anymore. They're just using you until they don't need you anymore. I usually don't wear shirts with skulls on it, but this is a Robert Graham shirt, and I wore it with skulls on it. I thought it served a good purpose today. I said, you know what? Let me bring the pain today. Let me bring the pain. Sorry, Mike, I misunderstood. I saw homeopathic physician. I had to do tons of work on changing diet, getting toxic products out of detoxifying the body. One of the good books to read, and I'm gonna make an audio book out of it, is The Mucusless Diet by Arnold Ehretz. That book right there is a very, very powerful book. The Mucusless Diet by Arnold Ehretz. The Mucusless Diet by Arnold Ehretz. If you're not familiar with that book, I've read that book. Every time I give that book to somebody, they never give it back. They never give it back. See if I can pull it up. They got the Goy's Life. Look at that, the Mucusless Diet, the Goy's Life. Yeah, this is the book right here. Mucusless diet, healing system, scientific method of eating. That's a great book. I would strongly suggest that you read that book if you have health concerns. Stop thinking that you need to go to see a physician. You know, like I said earlier, the body is composed of the elements of the planet and of the universe, and you need to bring that back into equilibrium. This is when you get dis-ease. You've been dis-eased is because there's an imbalancement. You know, if you don't get enough exercise, you don't have enough of the fire element. If you don't drink enough water, you don't have enough of the water element. If you don't go outside and get fresh air, you don't have enough of the air element. If you don't eat enough raw food, you don't have enough of the earth element. All right? Understand these things. And if you don't pray, and if you don't meditate, and if you don't do things to feed your mind, okay, you're not feeding your spirit. Mind and spirit are synonymous terms. The only activity that a spirit can engage in is thinking. Y'all know it. You always talk about getting possessed. When you get possessed, what happens when you get possessed by a spirit? It takes over your mind. I'm loving what I'm seeing in the chat room. There's so much positivity in the chat room and so much information sharing. And that's what you have to do to root out the people that are in. This is why I'm saying you start out with verses. You start out talking about truth. You'll run these people out of these chat rooms. The darkness cannot survive in the light. G-Man said this is all an illusion. That is a true statement. Let me talk about that real quick. You always hear people say that this world is an illusion. When you say that, what you're saying is that everything is a vibrational frequency that's in a constant state of flux. But see, it's a good thing that everything is an illusion because that means it's plastic. That means you can mold it to whatever you want it to be. But you have to have a strong enough will to do that. That's why it is very foolish for a person to have a victim mentality, because that's all you're doing is drawing victim type things to yourself. So it's a great thing that it's illusionary because we can mold it. That's also the reason why it can never be the source, because the source doesn't change. It's not illusionary. The only thing that is called the substantive reality is just another name for God. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The changeless. Anything that changes can't be real. But it's a good thing that it does. Because now all you have to do is become the God over it and mold it to your liking. If you do a 10-day fast, if you do a 10-day water fast, you will add 20 years to your life. If you do a 10-day water fast, you will get enough toxins out of your body to add 20 years to your life. All right, y'all. Y'all see the little number sign down there at the bottom. Let me get where the super chats at. Super chats. Answering super chats. I'll take a few questions, then I got to go. Super chat, super chat, super chat. Y'all, nobody hit me with the super chat today. But I thank you anyway. I appreciate it. Y'all don't have to hit me with the super chat. Y'all can hit me on Cash App. My Cash App is Yusef El 19. If you want to Cash App me, I appreciate any type of donations. A lot of people, you know, they get mad at, I don't get mad at preachers and people like that who ask for donations, because I came to understand that, you know, when you talking to people, when you get off the air, you be exhausted, because it's almost like spiritually people are feeding off of you and you need to recuperate from it. And, you know, and people, when they give and everything, it's kind of like a form of recuperation. in a way when people give to you. You know, it's hard to explain. Anybody who's ever spoken before large crowds for any length of time, you probably understand what I'm talking about. When you come off stage and you are exhausted, and it feels like, if even when I was on the phone, you know, on the radio doing it, you know, for 3 hours straight, it's just like, it's like you giving of your energy, and then you need to, you know, recuperate from that. And giving kind of helps you do that for a way. It's an energy thing. You need to stop looking at money as some sort of, you know, like people, you know, somebody told me that God, my money is my God. Money is not my God. Money does not make a man. The man makes the money. Okay, it is a byproduct of thinking in a certain way that you draw money to yourself. Money is a direct result of thought processes and nothing more. It's nothing more. You draw it to yourself. You treat money like you treat a woman. You respect it. You speak positively about it, and you only allow positivity into your space. Anything that is negative in your space, you get rid of. This is what I was talking about, even with people that are on your social media channels, you block them. You don't engage them in negativity if they're negative. If they're not in alignment with what you're trying to do, get rid of them. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for, I want to thank Easy Go Endode. On an Easy Go Endode. Nico Wilson, thank you. Laurie S., thank you. Tommy Bennett, thank you. The Geek Surgeon, thank you. Naturally Raw Nomad, thanks. See, they only giving $5. I appreciate that. Just that's great. That's great. That's great. Thank you. Easy Go Endode, thank you. Who else we have up here? I thought we had somebody up here earlier. We had a $20 one. Bobby Bams, thank you. Tommy Slavaneski, thank you. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the people who donate. I appreciate you very much. I hope that you can garner something from this today. Who is this right here? JM, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I hope that y'all replay this. And I want you to study and look into the videos that I talked about earlier. Listen, getting to the truth requires a lot of work. When you see something like what happens to Andrew Tate, it's not just simply explained. You have to have layers of knowledge to be able to perceive what's really going on. And you can't take things on their face value. You have to look, he understood it. The reason I was drawn to the man, because I could see it was like a kindred spirit. He understood what I understood. A lot of the same statements, he would make the same statements I would make. I'm like, man, this dude right here, he sees it. And so I'm trying to get you to be able to see too. And that's going to require work on your part to be able to see the veil that's been put over your eyes, that the matrix has put over your eyes. I'm trying to lift that veil so you can see clearly what's going on, so you can see the truth. My name is Yusef El. I'm the creator of High Frequency Radio. I want to thank all my listeners, and I want to thank everybody who supports me. I appreciate you. I want you to have a happy holidays. Be safe out there on the streets. We have New Year's coming up. Don't drink and drive. Be responsible. Uber to your spot if you think you're going to be drinking a lot. You know, be responsible. We have Uber. You don't need to show off the whip. You know, if you're going to be to just New Year's, it ain't that big of a deal. Leave the whip parked in the garage if you think you're going to be drinking like that. It's okay. Got your girl with you. She know what kind of car you got. Anyway, peace to all the gods. I will see y'all on the next live stream. Peace, y'all.